Hey, Salvador Briggman here, hailing in from Brooklyn, New York. And today on the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel, we are talking about the story, the Kickstarter story, the one thing that gets people to convert who are strangers into backers, right? This is so important, and I want to cover it today in this YouTube video. Also, if you haven't yet, go and check out my Instagram. Got some bite-sized content there. Just search my name, Salvador Briggman. It will pop up. In addition, go and check out my podcast, Crowdfunding Demystified, on iTunes and Spotify. And also, we got a version on YouTube. It's a bit more delayed though, so you can go and listen to those or put my name in there and that will likely come up. But today we're getting into the story. It is coming up right after this. Okay, let's get into the story, right? So the story has evolved a lot over time. When I got started in 2012, the story was mainly text-based. And we would kind of discover like, oh, this project is about this, and we're creators, and we're trying to do this. And there's a lot more, I'd say, low level with the marketing. But over time, the story has become so much more beautiful and full-fledged, and graphics and all that kind of stuff. You can go on Kickstarter, you can browse the site, you can see some of the different projects on there. And even if you just look at some of the trending ones, let's look at this one, Poly Smoother. Polish your prints. Let's take a look at this. We'll look at the story here and we'll get a sense of the high quality design elements. And then I'm going to share with you kind of how you can replicate some of these things, right? So you have a graphic here, you have a graphic here, you got some GIFs that are loading that will play, right? We got some headlines, we got all this stuff, right? And you do still have text, obviously, to a degree, but even a product like this that's a bit more technical has lots and lots of graphics, as you will notice, right? Now, here's the thing, and I know this is frustrating, my friend, but you don't have the ability to make graphics here, right? So you can write text, you can have headlines that look larger, right? You can have bullet points, like all that jazz, got bold and link to things and embed videos, right? You can do all that. And you can also embed images, but you aren't able to create images within the Kickstarter dashboard. So how do these guys do it? What do they do in order to make this thing so high quality? Well, likely nowadays, a lot of these companies are hiring a marketing agency in order to kind of take this off their hands and to do it for them. If you need help with your page, you can always reach out to me. I might be able to help you or not. If you want to do it yourself, I'd recommend looking into an app called Canva, Canva. So I'll just pull it up here, canva.com. You go and check that out, and you can create different templates using that. You can also obviously use Illustrator or Photoshop if you want to get really high tech when it comes to creating these different graphics. But that's going to be probably the easiest way. It doesn't, GIFs are okay if you have Canva Pro. You can do videos and GIFs a little bit easier with Canva Pro, which I think is maybe, like $100 a year or something like that, somewhere around there. But anyway, to get back to the point here, let's look at, first of all, some of the other stuff, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what a good story looks like. And we'll just do that by dissecting some other projects. So the important thing here is you're going to need to fill out the risks and challenges, right? The risks and challenges are really what someone who has never come across you before, who doesn't know you, they have to be informed about why might this not deliver, what's going to happen. You're going to obviously go out there and you're going to try and get this thing made to the best of your ability, but what happens if the boat that you have shipping your products over capsizes, right? Or what happens if the initial batch is great, but if there's like some defects or something? Talk a little bit about the risks and challenges of your specific project. And I know I'm trying to cater this to many. So like you could do a comic book, you could do a tabletop game, you could do a gadget, you could do a design product. It's really hard for me to tailor this to you, right? So there could be a lot of different risks and challenges that are related to your specific category. The other thing is any of your environmental commitments. Now, do you necessarily need to have environmental commitments? No, right? You don't necessarily have to have reusability and all these kinds of things. Kickstarter has its own ethos and its own values as a company. They're actually not a traditional C corporation. They are what's called a public benefit corporation. If you don't know what that is, you can spend some time looking that up. I'm not going to go over all of that in this video, but basically they have their own set of values. Even here, like if you're going to go to their homepage and open this up a new tab, you have the Black Lives Matter. They're a little bit more transparent with what they believe politically, what they believe in terms of their values, etc. So if you want to indicate anything when it comes to your environmental commitments, you can be sure to do that. And you can also learn more by clicking that Visit Our Resources center. So this is the main things with the story, right? I want to talk a little bit about how do we create and craft a really good story. So if we look here about what Kickstarter says, this YouTube video is sponsored by The Gadget Flow. The Gadget Flow reaches over 28 million people, and they've been around since 2012. They're Indiegogo and Kickstarter experts. They featured over 5,000 crowdfunding campaigns. If you have a tech or design campaign, it is a great platform to generate awareness and get backers. Check them out at thegadgetflow.com/submit and list your project today. Okay, now here's my issue. My issue is that I don't like giving you fluff. Like, I don't like just trying to make things sound good or try to be nice and be like, oh, do this, do that. I want to tell you the real deal. Like, I want to tell you exactly how it is. Now, Kickstarter, the way that they say this, and I love the platform. I love the site. I have nothing against that. But they say things like, imagine explaining your project to a friend. What would you say, right? Who are you? What are you planning to make? Where did this come from? This is good. I think this is good information, right? But it isn't substantial enough. We really have to get more nitty gritty into the marketing side in order to understand it. Like, this is good for a creative category, maybe. I think this is really how Kickstarter got started. But nowadays, just the caliber of page is so high that we need to dig a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna open a few different pages here, and we're gonna drill down into a couple of the campaigns that are funded and that are doing really well at the time that I am recording this video. And then we can discuss these here, and we can get into some of the best practices, okay? So I want you to pretend that you've never seen this project before, that you just kind of discovered, you stumbled on it. This is $1 million campaign. First thing is first, make sure you install KickTrack, right? You can see all of the different analytics really easily here, or you can use a tool called Bigger Cake. Number two, looking at the story. Obviously, the thumbnail in the video is going to be most important, goes beyond the subject of this video. When it comes to the story, what are the first things that you notice? The first things you see are images of the product, images of building credibility. If you go down, you can see the media logos, right? Instant credibility, talking about the high-level features. You basically want to get to the point, get to the freaking point, right? As soon as possible. You have some GIFs here showing the size of it, how it fits in there, how it might look on your desktop here. And then again, it goes into all how you can use it. So for example, you could always use another TV. You could do this, but this is what we do. These are our benefits. This is how it works. This is the price, right? You're really going through some of the major benefits, like play nice with others, begin your career as an influencer, video chat your gameplay. And they don't even have, this is all just text necessarily. They could have done graphics if they wanted to. And it's very extensive, very long, goes into technical specs. And it's only once they have covered these things do they actually introduce the reward graphics and tiers, right? So they talk then about the pricing, some of the add-ons, that kind of stuff, the ideal shipping. And then at the end, they're talking about the About Us. If you just followed what Kickstarter says, who are you? That's the first thing they say. But obviously that's not true, right? Because if you go and you look at this, they're doing this at the end. And that's so true because you want to have people initially focused on the product more so and on the credibility and on what it does, who it's for, high-level benefits. And at the end, you can then introduce a little bit more about who you are. But if you just read this blog post by Kickstarter, it might be a little bit misleading, right? So it's important to look at actual campaigns that are doing well. So let's compare this with this other one, which is Feel Good While Building Muscle, Happiness Guarantee. This one just started, and it's at 107, a little bit more than that right now. So we're going to go through this. Introducing Trigger Point Rocker, Nirvana for your back. So I already know just from that headline, what do I know? I know this is probably going to be some kind of a posture tool or something that is, we're not even going to look at it, right? I think it's something that's going to help you with your posture, help you sitting down maybe, help you make sure you don't have lower back pain, right? And they're also encouraging you to watch the video above. So now let's actually see. Okay, now it's going into all the functionality, the features, the benefits, neutral spine alignment, 2 firmness options, workout designed to strengthen, relax, target shoulders, right? Instantly, like it hits you instantly, right? Then you get into become a backer and get lowest price exercise programs, relieve back in 5 to 10 minutes. So this is actually not something that you sit on or something that is attached to your chair. It sounds like this is actually a laying down kind of a yoga format thing, right? And it's helping you with posture in that way. Let's see some of the commonalities, right? Here, the credibility aspect. Here, the understanding the trigger points. Did you know this, right? A trigger point is this. So doing a little bit of education, how it works. It shows you the different steps here. And then it gets a little bit into some of these targeted things that it can help you with. In other words, what are the benefits? Why, if you buy this thing, is it going to help you? Number one, it targets shoulder and upper back pain. It targets lower back pain, right? It gives you targets neck pain. Those are the things that it does. That means benefits, things that it does for you. And it shows you and illustrates this even here with this nice looking graphic. What are some of the other stuff? It's versatile. It works for all of these people. Who is it for? Once all of that is introduced, just like with the other campaign, it gets into the rewards, right? And the only reason I'm talking like this is that I think it's so important to study this, and I think a lot of the education out there is misleading, right? So it's important to actually examine some of these projects. $49, $69, you got different price points here. You can choose your firmness, right? And then it goes into even some more sales and exercise stuff. And let's just see, and then you have the product development timeline, right? And then it goes into the risks and challenges there. And it doesn't even seem like they really talk very much about me. This is the only about me section that I see. And again, it's at the end of the project, right? So we're getting to a few commonalities. So I want to do the final one, and we'll close off the video on that, just not to hammer the point too much, right? But it's important. First thing you see, credibility, right? Look at all that credibility there. The quotes, the testimonials. Introducing Poly Smoother. At this point in time, if I haven't watched the video, don't really know what it is. It looks cool, right? And I might read this and get some more information. It gives you constant temperature. It looks like when you're trying to polish the prints, right? So it gives you constant temperature, the step-by-step instruction. This is how it works, before and after, right? So you can easily see benefits. Okay, I see exactly what happens. But if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know benefits are not enough just to sell a product. You also have to follow it up with logic, right? So who is it for? What types of products? Look, it's suitable for complex shapes, large size prints. That's what it's for, You can go a little bit more into the temperature settings. So like this is getting more nitty gritty. A person who is like, I like this, I'm interested. Then they start asking questions like, okay, so how does it work? What temperatures can you set it at? What type of 3D prints can you use it for? What are the different features? When someone is scrolling down even more, that's when they're really getting to, okay, I'm thinking about buying this, but I'm not sure. Is it really solid? Okay, it is a solid body. Okay, is it easy to do this and to manipulate the dials? Okay, it is. There's a temperature dial, a power dial, right? A good container. It's a helper. Okay, these are the specs. Look at this, the weight, the dimensions. And then, just like the other campaigns, once they have provided that enough benefit and enough value building with the functionality, that's when they get a bit into the rewards, right? And how to pledge if you are unfamiliar with Kickstarter. Who is it for? Another thing that we have talked about with the other pages, right? It's for people who like to use polishing tools. It's for you if anyone who likes DIY. It's for anyone who likes the smooth finishing of the 3D print. It's for this, it's for that. And then finally, they get a bit more into the creation side and the factory and the timeline. And let's just see if they even have an about me. They might or they might not. It doesn't look like they have too much on the about me there. So you might have it in the video. I didn't watch the video before making this. So they talk a little bit more about the behind the scenes towards the end, right? So to recap, with your story, I wouldn't recommend just following this. These are good pointers, right? But at the end of the day, you want to be examining other projects. Number two, the limited functionality of the Kickstarter dashboard. So you can look at some of the tools I mentioned, or you can hire someone to help you putting this together. Number three, make sure to go through the psychology of it. So one of the core tenets that I have is that in order for someone to make a decision, they're kind of like checking off different boxes in their minds. So maybe the boxes of like, okay, this will work for me. Okay, I can see the benefits here, what it's going to do in my life. Okay, these are the promises. Like, this is the functionality. This is the technical specs. This is a sound decision. Okay, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to take a chance, right? You got to check off a lot of boxes in someone's mind in order for them to make that buying decision. Now, if you have any questions as well on the fulfillment side, recommend downloading this Kickstarter fulfillment and shipping checklist. I'll include a link down below. This is a really good guide. I actually helped put this together. So if I put my hands on it, it's going to be good when it comes to content, right? It's going to be thorough. It's going to be educational. This is a great guide. I recommend checking out at fulfillright.com/checklist. Also, we got a great partner, the Gadget Flow. These guys can help you promote your campaign. You can check out the link to that down below, and also some more about their information. And finally, if you are interested in having me kind of walk you through this as it would look for your product, for your process, and how to build this, how to really sink your teeth into this, you can book a one-on-one intensive hour-long coaching call with me. And you can do that at the link below at crowdcrux.com/coaching. And we can do a deep dive for your specific product, for your category. And I will literally save you thousands of dollars of mistakes that you could be making. I will help you navigate these different difficult waters. If you feel like you're lost, there's so much to think about. There's so much to keep in mind. I'll make this really simple for you. That's like the kind of, that's really what I bring to the table is I try to make complex things simple, right? Because that's just how I work. Like, that's how I understand things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Salvador again, Salvador Briggman. Leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. Come subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this. And I will see you next time.